Hey there, guys. Come on in, type in freedom now. We're going to have a terrific time together today. I have some important immigration news updates to share with you, and then we're going to dive into some Q&As, and some great news stories. So if you're joining today on YouTube, type in freedom now. Same thing on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's a pleasure to be with you guys today. It is October 20th, Monday, and we're back to work, and we're ready to go. All right. I hope you guys had a terrific weekend. I'm Latoya McBean Pompy, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide at McBean Law. Our contact information to book an appointment with an attorney is certainly in the bios of any forum that you're watching on today, the bio page, but we could be reached at 914-898-9488. Okay, 914-898-9488, or you could email us at info@mcbeanlaw.com. So let's go right into some very important immigration news update. And the first has to do with the $1,000 parole fee that you guys have been hearing about over the weekend from various immigration attorneys online, on TikTok, on Facebook, and I chatted very briefly with you about it during my TikTok live. I think it was Thursday night. Anyway, so there's a new $1,000 fee that applies to individuals who will be considered to have paroled into the United States, including advanced parole. And we're going to go into specifics momentarily about who this applies to and who it doesn't apply to. So bear with me for a moment. Be patient as we get to that point. This $1,000 fee came out of the One Beautiful bill, HR 1, and it's effective now. Okay. And in fact, I saw an immigration attorney had posted in a Facebook group chat the receipt of $1,000 that someone with DACA had to pay upon, I think it was a woman, her re-entry into the United States. And guys, it looks like a little receipt that you would get when you go out to dinner, or when you order pizza. Anyway, so this parole, it applies to individuals who who are going through a humanitarian parole process or granted humanitarian parole, and they must pay this $1,000 fee upon their entry into the United States or re-entry into the United States, or if they're here in the United States going through a process like military parole in place, there's a process for them to pay. So it applies to DACA holders who are traveling on advanced parole, again, military parole in place applicants, any humanitarian parole requests at the border, except for those of you who are seeking, or individuals who are seeking a medical emergency, with a medical emergency, and those who are in ICE detention and somehow you're being paroled out of detention. Also those with the United for Ukraine parole, it applies to you as well. Guys, do not make the critical mistake of paying this $1,000 fee when you submit that form I-131. DHS will send it back to you, and that could delay your case. How do you pay this fee? Well, you're going to pay it after, it's only required once DHS decides that they're going to approve your parole, particularly for those of you here in the United States. They will send you a notice with very strict payment instructions and a deadline for how to make this payment. So be very careful about this. Do not submit this payment with your I-131 filing fee. USCIS will be collecting this fee for those of you who are here in the United States. CBP will be collecting it from those of you arriving at a port of entry, and ICE will be collecting it for those of you who are in for those in detention. Those who this does not apply to, who who gets a pass, who will not have to pay this $1,000 fee. Adjustment of status applicants. If you're applying for advanced parole through adjustment of status, this does not apply to you. Medical emergencies, as I've said before, at the border, you will not also have to pay this fee. Those with a family urgent travel requests, and then there's another law enforcement exemption here as well. This $1,000 fee is it's annual. okay? And it's likely to increase based on inflation. So that's your summary on this $1,000 new parole fee. The next issue or update has to do with the fact that ICE, and you might have been seeing this from many different sources as well, is expanding its surveillance capability using some very intense spyware and surveillance technology that will not only reach immigrants or undocumented individuals and criminal aliens, quote unquote, but US citizens as well and residents, anyone. There's a very clear green light that ICE has been given to pivot eventually from immigration enforcement to domestic surveillance, which is huge, huge, because it has implications for First Amendment rights issues. And some of the very controversial contracts that ICE now has include things like this: facial recognition. There's a 3.7 million contract for service that will involve looking at images on social media and taking things to the next level with respect to potentially arresting certain individuals or accusing them of certain things. They also have contracts for eye scanning, phone tracking, hacking, and surveillance, and some other things. So social media monitoring is going to be a huge part of what they're doing. ICE is aggressively staffing up its social media monitoring in places like Vermont and California, where they have folks who are doing some of this work. And so Facebook, Instagram, X, and other social media platforms will be under very heavy scrutiny. The other update, next update, guys, also has to do with ICE related to Chicago. A federal judge in Chicago on Friday ruled in a temporary order, of course, ordered that federal law enforcement officers wear a body cam when they're out there conducting their enforcement activities and interacting with the public. They need to wear a body cam. There's concerns that ICE in the Chicago area has gone far beyond what they're supposed to do there, and the court is very concerned about this. And this requirement and this TRO is in effect until November 6th. Now, guys, I have also two reminders to you. Two reminders. The first is that the U.S. Citizenship Test, the new test, goes into effect, so to speak, today, meaning that if you apply for naturalization starting today and after today, that you will have to take the new test. Okay, it is a little longer and it does have some degree of difficulty, but you could study and pass this test. You must get 12 correct out of 20, and this doubles what the previous requirement was, which was 6 out of 10 questions. You will have to study 128 questions instead of the 100 question. Not only the 100 questions that folks had to do in the past, it's now 128 questions. So study, and also, friends, remember, good moral character is a huge part of the application process and the approval process. All right. And then the last reminder that I have for you is the fact that starting next week, guys, starting next week on October 29th, USCIS will no longer accept paper checks and money orders from you when you submit your applications to their office. They're only accepting two electronic payment types. The first is ACH debit, and the second is credit/debit card. So be aware of that, guys, and try not to send out your application with a check, let's say this Thursday or Friday, thinking that USCIS will get it in time. Just be very vigilant about it. And I would just make the argument that starting right now, today, as you pay those fees, use either ACH debit or credit or debit card. All right, those are the latest immigration news that I wanted to bring to your attention today. Type in freedom now. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go into your questions. By the way, we're using our old software here for today's live session because the other software, which allows for the call-in, it's not working today. It's not working. So here we are back to where we were, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. Okay, Melvis, good to see you guys. Freedom now, freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. I'm trying to let me get this, make this a little larger here. Freedom now, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Freedom now. Let me shift this over. Okay, now double tap the screen if you're joining today on TikTok. I'm going to answer questions from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So let's get into it. Okay, so Angela says that she has a priority date for unmarried children. And her priority date is 2019, U.S. citizen. The case is already approved. What is the next step? So U.S. citizen, my priority date for my unmarried children. Question, Angela, are your children under 21 or are they adult unmarried children? Because the visa bulletin, they would, you know, you would have to use the F1 category on the visa bulletin to determine when you could move forward with the visa center step. But what's going to happen next is the case is going to go over to the National Visa Center, and you'll be contacted once they have your case. And if your case is ready to go, meaning that your priority date is now current and a visa is available for those children, they will inform you of that, and you'll need to go ahead and prepare that visa application and pay those fees to the NVC. Did I see that the Chamber of Commerce also filed a lawsuit? Yes, I saw that, and that lawsuit is regarding the $100,000 fee that is attached to the H-1B visa process. I saw that. Thank you. Freedom Now. Can you give some explanation about the I-131 fees, $1,000 fee? I did that, Luxon. You probably, your question probably came in maybe right before I did that. Watch the rewind, so to speak, or we're going to publish this later on, so you'll hear what I had to say. Freedom Now, Patricia, thank you so much. Uh, Kevin says he received a notification that my wife's consular interview will most likely be delayed because she's applying in her country of residence and not her country of nationality. Will this be a problem? Maybe, Kevin, because the U.S. State Department recently provided some updates about where folks will be interviewed. So go take a look at the updates from the State Department regarding that. And if you experience any problems with her case, reach out to us. We'd be happy to speak with you. Thank you. Someone says that I started a spousal application, green card application. Do you think it's safe for domestic travel for Christmas? On advanced parole, Brooklyn, it's fine to travel on advanced parole. You have your case pending with immigration, but do not travel if you have a criminal record. Let's see, the I-212, that needs to be sent after you have your approved I-130 petition, okay? Thank you. And where it should be sent, look at the fee, look at the application, and the application will, it just depends on certain factors, but the application gives you instructions on where to file it. Do you do T visa cases? Ali is asking, yes, we do T visa cases. You can reach out to us if so that we can let you know whether we think that you do have a T visa case. All right. Frank says, I filed my I-130. I filed my I-130. Oops. Oh no. I'm gonna need some help in here. I just lost my, hold on a second, guys. Okay, let's just unplug it. I just lost my little mic there. TikTok, you should still be able to hear me, correct? Type in, I can hear you, I can hear you, I can hear you. Frank says, let's see, TikTok. Can you guys still hear me fine? Yes? Say yes, 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 I hear you. Thank you, Hannah. Frank says, I filed my I-130 in October, 2024, and no update yet from USCIS. Do I need to contact them? Frank, maybe not, because it just depends on who filed for you, right? Thank you. Who filed, but I think I'll be fine without it because I've already I just plugged it out. It's fine. Thank you. My colleague came to my rescue, but it's okay. Um, so the I-130, certainly, Frank, it depends on what category you're in and who filed for you. You might very well still be in the process in time for your category. You contact USCIS once you're outside of their process and times for your category, and you put in those service requests. And for those of you facing delays with the I-130 processing, you could also get some congressional assistance. Speak with your local congressman or congresswoman's office. There is no risk attached to that. You might be, I know that some people are afraid of doing some things like going to an official, the police station, and for some people, they're afraid to go to church or the hospital. But do not be afraid to go to a congressional office. It is a safe place. They will not turn you over to ICE, okay? Let's see, let's go up here. Thank you. Freedom Now. Let's go I'm trying to take this in order. Let's see. Joda says that I'm a U.S. citizen who applied for the I-824 to release my I-130, which was previously approved and later stored on April 7th. USCIS always says, we're reviewing your case. When will it be approved? The I-824, I didn't look into the processing times before today, but based on experience, old experience, to be honest with you, it does take several months, like 8 months or a little bit longer for USCIS to process the I-824. Check their processing time for that form on their website. Thank you guys for being here today. Let's see. Go down to this one. I'm applying for citizenship as married, but my taxes say that my taxes were filed as single. Will that be a problem with my citizenship case? Yes, it will be a problem. Okay, you've got to get that fixed. You've got to get those taxes amended. And even after the amendment, it does, USCIS could still ask you about that issue as well, okay? How much does it cost for adjustment of status for one adult and one child under 21? Philippe is asking. Philippe, we do not give out our fees during a live forum. Okay, thank you. Thank you for being here with me today. I'm going through your immigration questions. Double tap the screen and say hello. My oath ceremony was canceled due to the government shutdown. Marshmallow is saying here, commenting on Instagram, that shouldn't have happened because USCIS has the funds to continue processing cases and continuing to push the naturalization process forward because your filing fees is funding this agency. So I'm curious to know which field office were you supposed to go in to take your oath. Someone says, it's hard for me because I lost my document upon entry. I think it's the I-130 as well. Jerry, I'm not sure what you're talking about. You lost your documents. Thank you for the gifts on TikTok. You lost your documents. Elaborate. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You could always go to the government for your records through a FOIA request. A FOIA request would allow you to get your records back, so to speak, from the government. Not really back, but you'll get copies of your record from the government. Okay, let's go down here. I attended my marriage-based interview in February, and the interview was great. If it was great, you wouldn't be asking this question right now, right? But since then, no updates. So it wasn't great. The lawyer is suggesting mandamus action. You can go with that. He's asking, what is my view on that? You can go with that because, again, if it was great, you would have been approved by now. Great means approval same day or even the next day or even a couple of days later, but not several months later. So they're looking into something there. So for us, we would want to get smarter about how great things went, which it didn't, and let you know that they're looking at certain specific flags maybe, and that maybe you should gear up for potentially a notice of intent to deny before get into a mandamus, but every firm and every attorney does things differently. Reach out to us if you'd like to go a little deeper with that. Freedom Now, Aaron, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The next question: with my asylum application administratively closed, can I go ahead and file for adjustment of status? My son is filing for me as a U.S. citizen. That's great. You might be eligible for adjustment of status. How did you enter the U.S.? If you have that lawful entry on your record, that's a good thing for you to pursue. But when you say that your asylum case was administratively closed, you mean in court? Because if it was closed in court administratively, USCIS might not approve an adjustment of status application for you under certain circumstances. Let's see. Maria says, my spouse is a U.S. citizen. We filed for CR1 petition 3 months after we got married. I had a border incident where I voluntarily withdrew my admission and was found inadmissible. Was filing a good idea? I don't know, Maria. What was the problem at the border? Why were you found inadmissible? Did they see something else on your record related to past travels or past statements you made at the border previously? Something went wrong there. Happy to look into that for you. Freedom Now, Marilyn. Good to see you. Hey there, Ruth Ann. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bunny is asking, can you travel domestically if you're undocumented? I've seen some immigration lawyers online. I'm saying this. I've seen some immigration lawyers online say, no, don't do it, don't do it. I think it's fine, but it's your own, you travel at your own risk. And I'm sure you're hearing both sides of the, both opinions, okay? But this is your life. Be careful about making various decisions about your life from just a live chat. You don't want to make that big mistake. Always confirm with someone who you like, know, and trust, who is competent and experienced before you take the general information that is being shared in an open forum such as this one, okay? Now, let's keep going. The next question is from Barry. Barry says, can you still continue with applying for your 10-year green card if you get divorced from a physically abusive marriage? Yes, Barry, it's called VAWA and is for victims of domestic violence. Is it a good time for my son to file for me? Nutricia is asking. I still say now is the time for immigration. Immigration has slowed down just a little bit under this lockdown or this shutdown, but which is ridiculous because they should continue to be processing, and they are, but moving at a slower pace right now. But now I think if you're eligible for something, you should do it now, okay? Let's go down here. Let's head over to Instagram briefly and answer a couple of questions from you guys. Adam is asking, can I apply for a travel document if I have an asylum case of 9 years without an interview? If you have a reason for that travel that fits that the asylum category, yes, you can apply for that. Just don't go to your home country. Otherwise, they will accuse you of committing fraud. And it's hard to get the approval of advanced parole for asylum cases, but it's not impossible, okay? Let's see. I applied for 4 of us family. I submitted my payment on a personal check. You should be fine if you submitted it early enough to have get a receipt notice in time before things change. Okay, let's go back over here. Thank you guys. Type in freedom now. Thank you. Freedom now, freedom now. Let's see. Next question is from Monique. My U.S. citizen husband filed for my minor child last year. So this is a step parent filing. How long does it usually take for a child? I would say that's going through, what is this, an I-130? Or is this a adjustment of status case? It should still be under a year, okay, for the immediate relative filing. All right. Next question. My case started in August of 2013, guys. You hear this, in category F1, and changed from F1 to F3. because this person got married. They added someone to their case, which is probably a spouse, in February of 2024, but still no progress. What can I do? You'll have to wait until your priority date becomes current now under this new F3 category, because if staying single, your priority date, I think, would be current by now, but it's hard to stay single, particularly if you're from certain cultures, and they really believe in getting married at a good young age. So you'll have to wait until the priority date comes up, okay? Fitsum, this is the last, okay, Ketley, good to see you. Thank you so much. Freedom Now, hello. Freedom Now. Priority date is March 2017. I kind of wish I had another, hold on one second there. I'm going to pull up the visa bulletin here in front of me so that I could be more informed. So I'm going to pull up the November visa bulletin. Let's do this real quickly. 2025. If I could get it here. Oh, there it is. Go here. All right. And stay signed out. And so I'll have the information here in front of me, 2025. Priority date is March 2017. After my priority date becomes current, what's the next step? I think I had answered this question earlier. Guys, I'm asking that you only ask the question once. If I see that you're spamming, we're going to have to hide you from our channel or disable you, because I am trying my best, as you could see from this rapid pace, of answering as many questions as possible. So please, let's see. Giovanni is asking, when filing a VAWA case, does the evaluation go in after you have submitted the case? So Giovanni, normally it's a good idea to submit that with your case, the initial filing. And if you miss that opportunity, then wait until the government sends you a request for additional evidence. And it's at that point you go ahead and submit your evaluations. Do lawyers have a different way that um, than us to talk to USCIS for asylum cases? I don't know if I would say that lawyers have a different way. We try to use our network and associations liaison to get some information and intel about what's going on at various asylum offices across the country. But I'm not sure if there's any other additional way other than like writing a letter or calling USCIS like anyone else. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Type in freedom now, guys, and let me know where you're joining from today. I have my driver's license in my married name, but my other documents are in my birth name. Do I have to change it all to file a petition? No, you don't have to do that. Going down a little bit. Freedom now. It's been 3 months. I went to my interview, still haven't heard anything yet. Nakia, what kind of case do you have? And where did you interview? Okay, let's go up here. Is it possible to file for my mom and small siblings who are in the Caribbean? Yes, you could bring in file for your mom. Once your mom gets her green card, she could file for the siblings. It's better that way. Otherwise, it will take forever to bring your siblings to the United States, and you would have wasted your filing fees filing for your siblings. And your mom has to get her green card first. The kids cannot be attached to her case. Okay, let's go here. Let's see. How long is the processing time for removal of conditions? I've seen anywhere from 6 months all the way up to that 48-month process. Go down here. Let's see. I've already talked about the Chamber of Commerce H-1B lawsuit. It's good that they jumped in. Because this is a huge concern for business in the United States. Let's go down. I'm going to how long on the U visa approval? I'm not sure on based on. Oh, let's put that back on here. How long is U visa approved? Based on I-45 taken in the New York City area. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that. Let's see, how much do attorneys charge for mandamus lawsuits? Each attorney has their own fee based on their experience, location, and background, and success rate, and all of that. So you'll have to speak with an attorney one-on-one to get their fee. My wife came to the United States when she was 12 years old with a visa. She now has DACA, and her dad is a U.S. citizen. Can he petition for her? Well, you say she's your wife, so she's old enough now to she can be petitioned for by the dad, the U.S. citizen, but she's a married, grown woman now, and that category takes forever. He could get her in line, and just know that it's going to take an extremely long time for her to get her green card. If a restraining order was placed, but on the court date, it says the case was dropped, is it still on the record? Everything is on the record. Even this, I'm on the record right now. I'm on the record, guys. Everything is on the record, okay? And immigration wants to know about everything, including an arrest or any court matter where that started after an arrest and it was later dismissed. They want to know about it. Benny says that I'm from Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria. This I've got to position this right. And my wife is an American citizen. She filed an I-130 last year, December. Up till now, I haven't heard anything. Do you think everything is fine? It might be. It just depends on what you put on your application and whether it was a good case or not. Okay, but as far as the processing times are concerned, I think you're doing okay with your case. It hasn't been not even a year yet, right? Submitted my N400 with my I-751. It's been pending for more than 2 years now. Okay, you're still within their processing times. Someone says I came in as a student. Okay. They want me to go back to my home country. Okay, let's go down here. My child is filing for me with an I-94 and I have been here for over 10 years. How do I convince them that I do not work? You don't have to convince them of that. You can't. You do not have to convince them of anything related to something that is not true. By the way, it's considered fraud if you hide your employment history. You're exempt from this issue of working because this is an immediate relative filing, and they will not care so much about the fact that you have work. They will care more so about you not trying to conceal or hide or omitting is considered fraud. And this government is hell-bent on finding fraud cases. It's a war against fraud. So do not try to hide that information. You will be fine. Is it true that humanitarian parole is back? I don't think it was ever gone. It's, at the border every day, they make the decision about who to parole into the country based on various factors like a medical emergency. So it's still there. Let's see, how much do we charge for mandamus? Again, I do not discuss our fees in a public forum. This person has asked a lot of questions. We're going to need to place this person in timeout. Libera's people, P-E-U-P-L, L-I-B-E-R-E-Z. Let's place that one in timeout, please. Those comments are spamming and very, very, very distracting. One question only, guys, please. Okay. I'm gonna just scroll down. Let's see. Let's see. Can a conditional green card holder travel internationally? Yes, they can, if so long as you're still in good standing with your spouse. How long do I have to wait for my I-485 interview? I saw that they have processing times in October. It depends on your location. Okay. Let's see. Hello, do someone have to put dismiss temporary order on the form I-485? This is quite, I think, related to the other question that I answered earlier. You have to disclose something. You have to disclose any issues any run-ins or offenses or charges that you have with immigration. They're going to want to know all of this stuff, okay? All right, let's see. Go here. Excuse me. Go down here. I'm going to come back over to TikTok momentarily. Okay, so excuse the transition here. Let's just go a little closer. Maybe not that close. Guys, type in freedom now. Hope you're having a terrific day. Freedom now. My friend came to the United States through the border. Okay. He was given an alien number 2022, married 2023, filed I-130. It was approved, but he wants to adjust now. Can he do it? Maybe. We'll have to look at those entry documents carefully. Can I file for my mom while I have a green card? No. You'll have to wait until you're a U.S. citizen. Let's go down. Let's go down. Do you take cases that have already been filed? Yes. If there's an immediate scope of work for us to do, we will take it. 107 days since filing, marriage-based adjustment of status, no biometrics yet, have submitted 2 service requests. Something strange is going on there with that filing, certainly. Something strange is going on because you should have had a minimum done biometrics by now. You could reach out to us for further assistance with that case, or you could also check with your congressman's office and get some congressional assistance. Double tap the screen, everyone. Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. Double tap. Double tap. Thank you so much for being here on TikTok. Double tap. How much does it cost to renew a 2-year green card? You could check USCIS filing fees. I do not share our fees online, if that's what you're asking. I owe the IRS money. I'm on a payment plan. Will it affect your N-400? Yes, it will, because this government, under the new rules for naturalization, they want to make sure that you've paid up. You've paid up, not just only I'm on the payment plan anymore, unfortunately. So work on paying up before you apply for naturalization. Let's see, double tap the screen, guys. Thank you so much for being here today and for all of your gifts. I-130 for my child, 2 years, nothing, haven't heard anything. What's going on with the case? Marina is asking, how old is your child? Is your child under 21? And where's your case pending? Is it here, or is the child here in the US or overseas? Because the processing time will vary based on those facts, okay? Freedom now, guys. Freedom now. Thank you for being here today. I'm trying to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Lita says that I had my petition to my son together with his family, and it was approved in 2019. Up till now, we haven't heard anything. It's a case that is going to be processed in the Philippines. So the Philippines category, this is your U.S. citizen parent filing for your son. Is it an F1 category or is it an F3 category? Because the government, if it's F1, they're only up to January 2013 cases. Visa is available for those who had filed by that date. If your son with his family includes a wife and he's in that F3 category, they're only up to the year 2004. So it takes forever, okay? It takes forever. Is it safe to travel on I-131? It might be. For some people it is, yes. Okay, we're not in Canada. We're located in White Plains, New York. Let's see. But we work with clients all across the United States, and we also have clients across the globe too. Freedom Now, Indira, good to see you. Thank you for being here. My check the requirements, Cecilia, regarding the rules with regard to whether your mother will have to take that naturalization test or not, based on her being here in the United States for that 15 years now, and she speaks Spanish. Let's see. I can't roll those rules off the top of my head in this forum. Let's see, can I travel out of the United States having 48-month extension on my green card while I'm separated from my spouse, but we're not yet divorced? It's risky. I always say no to that under this administration. I've been saying no to that because if they pick up the phone and call your spouse while you're at the airport trying to come in, and your spouse says, I don't want to have anything more to do with her. I'm surprised that you would even call me. And I don't even, to be even bitter, I don't even know her. She used my name, and I'm trying to withdraw my case from immigration. They could then detain you at the airport if the separation is really that bitter. So it's risky. Only you know the person you're married to and what he or she would not do. So take caution with your travel when you're separated from your spouse and you only have that green card, okay? All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's see. Scroll down a little bit here. Freedom Now, guys. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for your gifts on TikTok. Thank you for being with me also on Instagram today. Going through as many questions as I possibly can. So can someone go with you to the interview who is not related to you, just to provide support? Well, you know, you can have someone with you in some circumstances, but in most circumstances, the answer is no. You should try to handle your immigration interview delicately and not bring people into and in some cases, folks can't even come into unless there is there an issue? Which forum? Oh, oh. So, here at YouTube is experiencing a little bit of a feedback. So what should I do? Okay, nothing confidential on this side. So let's just shift you guys this way. Okay, is that a little better? YouTube, my apologies. Is it a new feedback? Has it been going on for a while? Okay, my apologies. My colleague told me that we were experiencing a little problem with the audio. There was some feedback related to how I have my setup here on the back end. So if it's better now, guys, comment below and let me know that it is better. I'm just trying to take your questions in order so I don't see the more recent stuff in the comments here. All right, let's keep going. Let's see, let's go up a little bit. I think I might have lost my place. Can the government shutdown affect the oath ceremony? I'm hearing from someone here that their oath ceremony is being delayed due to the government shutdown, which is absurd because again, USCIS has the fees and the funding to move your case forward. That should not be happening because USCIS itself is not shut down, okay? But they're using this shutdown as an excuse to process cases slower. See, this is why I didn't want to be on this side. Okay, let's go ahead and fix things I had to fix my setup here on the back end. All right, let's keep going, guys. Freedom Now. Thank you for being with me today. Do I speak Creole? No, I do not speak Creole. Okay, thank you for your gifts. Okay, can I travel with my, okay, oh, this is going fast. How long does it take? How long does it take someone who is married to a U.S. citizen? It could, in most cases, it's under a year. It's a fast process now for many people. But again, the immigration is slowing down using this government shutdown as an excuse. All right, let's keep going back to YouTube. And then you guys here on Instagram, I will get to you momentarily. Thank you for your patience. Let's see. What is the best? Oh, I've answered your question before. If I've answered your question before, please, I do not want to have another question, okay? Be careful with that second question and spamming. Let's go down here. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of spamming. Okay, so I have an asylum interview coming up in November. I have an asylum interview coming up in November. Should I be worried? No, you should not be worried. You should just be focusing right now your energy on preparing yourself for that interview and make sure that you have a very good, solid declaration and evidence ready to go. All right, ready to go. Someone is asking a question about VAWA and they have a number that was generated. through and fingerprinted, connected to the parole in place under Biden, and they're reusing it now from VAWA to make VAWA safe faster. Okay, it's not a bad thing when the government decides to reuse your fingerprints. It really does help to speed things along a little bit with the process, and that's the whole point of why they're doing this. Can USCIS cancel the interview that you've already attended? That doesn't make any sense to me. Please reframe that question. Okay, do not share any videos or links in the chat, please. We're asking for you guys not to do that. If someone says, my friend got married, she received her work permit, but her husband filed for divorce. What can she do? She needs to see a lawyer right away to see whether she has any options of moving forward on her own. I filed for my sister in 2015. What is the timing? I'm a US citizen. The government is only up to, for most countries, 2008. Okay, so you have several more years wait time for the government to push that case forward. Doing marriage interview for the third time. What does that mean? It means that the government had a lot of problems with your first two interviews and they're giving you another chance. However, speak with someone privately, an experienced attorney, because if they're calling you back in for a third interview, that's a real bad sign, okay? And speak with someone to see whether you're at risk of being detained at that third interview. I'm a US citizen. I filed for my brother to join me. How long will that take? It usually takes about maybe 12 to 15 years for most countries. Let's go down a little bit here on Instagram. Thank you guys for being with me today during this live session. Let's see. Wife entered on K1. We married 90 days. Within the 90 days, we have not yet had a chance to file. We have 3 US citizen children. You should still be fine with your filing, okay? But try to get it in very quickly, okay? Because your wife needs her work permit and her social. She needs to get things moving. Although I'm sure she might have some documents identification already, but she needs her green card. So go ahead and file for her right away. When you receive an NTA, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Fatuwu is asking. It could be a bad thing for most people, and it's a good thing for some people who might be eligible for cancellation of removal, only available in immigration court. And but the chance of success on cancellation of removal cases with the 10-year green card being granted in court is very, 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 very low, less than 10% approval on cancellation of removal cases. But if eligible, absolutely apply for it. Someone says that Richard says, I have 2 misdemeanor charges from 14 years ago. Should I still apply for DACA? I'm worried I might be placed in removal. Speak with us one-on-one or an attorney that you trust to find out what were those 2 misdemeanors all about and the risk of you being placed in removal. Immigration is very sensitive today about criminal backgrounds. They are literally looking for criminal aliens, but at the same time, it just depends on your facts and what happened and the way that you're able to explain things to them. Let's see. Someone says that we are a family of 3 with pending asylum in immigration court. We are here since 2017. Can I file for a T visa for me and my family as something happened on my job? Maybe you might be eligible for the T visa. We could have that discussion, book a consultation with us to see if you're eligible. And we'll also take a look at what's going on with your removal case. Freedom Now, Freedom Now. Thank you, Freedom Now. Okay, now I'm now seeing the comments about, I'm hearing static, things are bad with the audio on YouTube, but my colleague says that they are better now. So my apologies for the problem on YouTube. Oh, right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Freedom Now. Thank you. If you have outstanding traffic tickets, will it affect your green card application? Not on the green card side, but certainly naturalization. So get those cleared up before you apply for naturalization. Freedom Now, MJ, good to see you. Let's go down. Okay. Freedom Now, Freedom Now. I don't have any news on DACA. I know that there is a slight delay that's happening right now. As a matter of fact, I was updated by another colleague regarding that, what's going on there in Texas, and things are not moving at this point. So hopefully, this government shutdown will be resolved before January 1st. We'll see. Both sides have dug in, but it has slowed down the processing of the DACA case in Texas. So there's a slight delay happening right now. Can I say something about the DV Lottery 2027? No. If anyone knows whether they have already published or announced the opening of the DV Lottery, just update me, please, in the comment. Update me on that. I have not been following that issue. Let's go down a little bit. Let's head over here. Head over here. I never received an extension letter for my filed I-751. That's not good. You're supposed to. You typically would receive it right away from immigration. Are you sure the case was filed? And if so, by who? Let's see. Let's go down a little bit. Go down. As European immigrants in the USA with no status, can I get into Canada with a work visa with no issues at the border? I don't know how Canada feels about European immigrants who have been in the United States. I would imagine that they would treat you the same as how they treat anyone else. But speak with a Canadian immigration attorney about how to get into Canada lawfully. Does the $100,000 H-1B fee affect teaching jobs? I think it would, unless, an exemption, one qualifies for an exemption. This is all still very new. I don't think anyone has been charged yet or paid yet that $100,000 fee. But it could very well, I think it does very well apply to those types of positions, although an argument could be made that they're within our national interest, of course, teaching jobs. Let's go down here. A marriage problem. My wife and I live in separate states. We have bank account and we have flights together, car rentals, receipts, family, friends, wedding photos, friends are in the photos as well. What other documents do I suggest? Dami, look at the document checklist on the forms I-130 and I-485 before filing to make sure that you're fully well covered. You need evidence showing that you guys are living together and brought your resources together. You have a good list there, but there is very well more. There is more, okay, that you would have to show to the government, especially since you're living in different states. That's a big problem for immigration. You want to handle that delicately. We've done it many, many times for some clients, but you must you must have a reason why you're living in two different states. It's not a very common setup or way that couples live. So just because you have those pieces of evidence that you've shared here, it doesn't mean that they're going to prove your case and be convinced that your marriage is genuine. Okay, let's see. Any ideas on the backlog for F2A? F2A category advanced tremendously. Look at the current visa bulletin and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right. If you entered the United States with a K-1 visa, and at the time you included 3 children, after submitting the application to USCIS, if you have another kid, do you do an I-130 for the kids without problems? I think you would need to do an I-130 for the child that was omitted, but I would want to know, obviously, the facts seem strange to me. I don't understand how you could have unless you were the wife, right, outside of the fiance outside of the United States. I don't understand those facts, actually. I'm just trying to think about it within the K-1 process. Contact us so that we could go a little deeper. I'm trying to go fast here. What should we do while waiting for our I-130 approval? And what can I prep before hiring an attorney? I want to avoid delays. While you're waiting on your I-130, just continue to assemble evidence, fresh evidence related to the bona fide nature of your marriage. You most likely will need that additional evidence if you go in for an interview to strengthen your case. And then you just wait. If immigration gives you sends you an interview notice, you could consult with a lawyer to prepare you and maybe even attend with you if the lawyer thinks there's a need to do so. And I think you'll be on you seem to be forward thinking, and I think you're going to be just fine. Hey there, Georgia. Freedom now, freedom now. Let's keep going. You're welcome. I like it when you loop back with your thank yous. Stephanie, good to see you. Ruth, hey there, hey there, hey there. Green card delays is happening. Production. I'm hearing, I don't know about the production side of things with respect to delays, but I am hearing through the grapevine that USCIS is slowing some things down now due to the government shutdown, which makes no sense because they're open. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Okay, the test for naturalization. If you don't pass the test, what's going to happen? You could always take it again. Take it again. If you fail it, take it again. Okay. Why are they taking so long to approve? DACA? What part of what are you referring to? Because are you referring to renewals? Are you referring to initial applications, which the government paused for the last 4 years due to the litigation, and then they said, "Oh, we're going to go back and we're going to adjudicate the DACA applicants." Which part of this process are you referring to? Is taken so long. Let's go back up here. Let's see. Can I get married even though I was being filed for before based on my mom's green card, but declined? Yeah, you might be able to do a marriage-based case. I've been deported from the US. Okay, what happened? Okay, let's go down a little bit. Freedom Now, Molly, good to see you. I do not have any news for any updates related to TPS for Haiti at this time. To my understanding, I think it's the last time I checked on this. February 2026 is the end date, but hopefully something will change before then. Thank you, guys. I filed for my daughter in, I guess that's, I don't know, is that 2003 or 2023? I was a green card holder. I'm now a citizen. I've been a citizen for over 5 months now. The case is still pending. What should I do? Normally, in a situation like that, you could update the USCIS or CIS. You could update the government with your naturalization. Your naturalization certificate. However, we would want to take a look at this first to see if it makes sense to try to move your daughter's case to a different category, because sometimes it really doesn't make sense to do that. So I see now 2023, he says here. Thank you for that. Yeah, how old is the daughter? What category is that person in? Okay. F2A or was it F2B? Which one was it? Because green card holder parents can petition for adult children. Okay, so we would drill down a little bit there before we tell you go ahead and upgrade the file. Sharnette is asking, can a U.S. citizen parent file for her adult daughter living in the U.S.? Yes, she can do that, and the daughter will need a waiver, which she's eligible for through you, and then have to finish the process back in the home country, okay? Let's see. Okay, super chat question says, if 601A has been approved and I suddenly get arrested by ICE and I'm deported, can I get 5-year ban, or what would happen to my case? What would, if this is a complex fact pattern, and it's a lot of ifs, right? Your 601A has been approved. You're on track to leave the United States. Once you get an interview by the U.S. Embassy, focus on that and preparing yourself in that regard. And if you're arrested by ICE and they see that you're going through the 601A process, in all reasonableness, an attorney can make an argument to, that you're on track for leaving, but the ICE will place you in removal and deportation proceedings. That's what they would do. And based on what happens in court, that's when we would consider, okay, now what's needed next? What waiver is now needed in light of the fact that this person has been placed in removal? That's what would normally happen here. The arrest, then placed in removal. Okay, and an argument would be made to release you so that you could continue your removal case from home instead of being behind bars or detained by ICE during the entire duration of your immigration court process. You're married to a U.S. citizen. That's a great thing. You have that 601 I-130 approved, the 601A approved. You're on track. So just take it step by step and don't freak out too much these days, okay? Let's see. Sorry about that. Why they canceled the interview for those who came here under the Biden humanitarian program during President Biden term. Which interview are you referring to that was canceled, Geraldine? What interview? Where did you have scheduled that the government canceled? I haven't heard anything related to like a mass cancellation of interviews. Please educate me. Love to know. I would love to know. Freedom now, freedom now, freedom now, because they are processing these cases. It just depends on what type of case you have. I work outside of the United States and recently traveled there to get married in the United States. After I returned to my home country, we submitted our marriage-based petition. Is there anything illegal with that? So no, I don't hear anything that's off. You're living and working outside of the United States. You came here. Well, you came here, you said I came here to get married. That's the part that does sound funny to me. You came here, is that the intent? You came here to get married? Be careful with that. Be careful with that. That would be problematic. If you came here, however, to visit your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your fiance, that's different. And you ended up getting married, okay. You have an I-130 case in the process, and that case is going to be processed while you're still in your home country. Okay, fine. The U.S. Embassy will probably drill down a little bit about your intent in coming to the United States, because you did come here to get married, as you've said here today on this show. Let's see. Let's keep going. How much for a consultation? Michael is asking. Our consultation fees begin at $300. Let's see. Let's go down here. Freedom now. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Great questions today. Great questions. I think it was a record number of responded questions during today's show. We're going to wrap up momentarily. If an legal immigrant meets ICE, is it a good idea to exercise our Fifth Amendment right and not say anything and not answer their question? So if you're here legally, there's nothing wrong with you saying, I'm a green card, I'm a resident, I'm a U.S. citizen, or I have DACA. There's nothing wrong with that. And as a matter of fact, it's highly advisable that you do that. Okay. Any advice for F1 students on OPT? Yes, you guys need to be very careful. You need to understand that the government is drilling down on OPT. They're doing site visits. They are hyper-focused on fraud related to OPT. So they are trying to crack down on OPT fraud as well. Let's see, go down a little bit. USCIS will send you a notice related to the $100 asylum fee. For those of you who missed their deadline, they are sending out those notices through the mail as well as in your portal, from what I understand. So some people are getting it in their online account at USCIS, and others are actually getting the notice in the mail that they've missed the deadline to pay their $100 asylum fee. And please go ahead and pay it. And here's how to pay it. Freedom Now, Nyla, good to see you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. When you see ICE officers, say thanks and shake their hands for enforcing the law. Well, you could say hi, but, it's up to the individual if they want to say, well, thank you for enforcing the law. That's an individual thing, okay? Let's see. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Should I do the DACA initial application? I think so. Okay. And that's, I know that others online say something different. Oops. Oh, look what's happening here. I know that others online say something different, but we each have our own opinion. All right, guys. So we are going to... Let's transition briefly to some good news comments that you guys have shared with me recently. And if you had not shared good news during today's show, please drop us a good news about your case. If something wonderful happened, we'd love to share it with our audience here. And let me get this on the screen here. Okay, so Hoods Global says, I just got my son's I-130 approval after 20 months. Whoa, that's a long time. He is overseas. Still good news. That is terrific. Shanda Mutali 1592 says, I just got my citizenship last week. Very easy process. It only took 4 months. That is terrific. Gasa1 says, I got my interview Friday and approved Saturday. Total case processing times, 91 days. Wonderful. That's terrific. And guys, when you're sharing your good news story about your case being approved, just let us know what type of case it is. If it's an asylum or marriage or whatever it is, just let us know. Julie Azim says, my brother's citizenship was approved and he has his appointment date in 1 week. Okay. Excellent. He has his swearing in, his oath ceremony scheduled in another week. When God Elevates says, I received my work permit, green card, and citizenship certificate in the mail soon. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, amen. Congratulations to me in advance. Okay, I'm now seeing this. I'm reading these for the first time, friends. I didn't know this was a proclamation of what is to come. I thought this happened already. She did say here in advance. That's so cute, super cute. Uniquely Sue Sevens says, my niece, after waiting for months for her green card, she got it without even doing an interview. We prayed and God answered. Keep trusting God in everything that you do. That's wonderful. Love that. And we had a success story that we shared on Sunday about a minor who now has hope for a brighter future after tragedy and abandonment. After losing his mother in 2024, guys, a boy from the Bahamas faced an uncertain future. Abandoned by his father as a baby, he came to the United States in 2021 to live with his aunt. In 2025, she turned to us for help. We guided her through the process of obtaining legal guardianship and applying for the special immigrant juvenile status process. In October, a court in New Jersey granted our guardianship request, and now he could apply for this process, SIG, and this gives him hope for a stable and brighter future in America. That's wonderful. It's if you're an aunt, if you're an uncle, if you're I don't know, maybe even an older sibling, and there's a young person here in the United States without a parent, you might be able to help that person get on the right track to a green card by a self-petitioning process known as the Special Immigrant Juvenile Status. We do that, and we're so excited when we can help these young people to get on track. Also, friends, this is the National Pro Bono's Week, and tomorrow I will be doing a podcast interview with a terrific, I should say, organization that is on the front lines for you guys fighting litigation, putting forward these cases to challenge what we're seeing today. And I'm going to be interviewing them so that you guys can hear what they're doing, what they're working on, and what is on the horizon in the days ahead with respect to their work. So, and then there's another organization that I will be interviewing as well. So we're going to try to turn it around for you guys really quickly this week and get you that content. Guys, support these nonprofit organizations, credible ones, because a lot of them have lost their federal funding stream. So if you really believe in the work that they're doing to advance the belief that we have that we are the people of the United States and we're made up of many different cultures, color, background, all of that. That's what makes this country so special and great. Then support your local nonprofit. Start locally, do something, volunteer, help something out, help out your neighbors in a special way. It doesn't even have to be immigration related, but just get involved and do something locally because these local nonprofit organizations are really struggling today. So this week you will be hearing from one that's doing more national work just to get you guys to pull you into what's really going on and to educate you so that you could rally behind them and support their work because it touches so many lives here in the United States. I think I'm all set. I have my part two of my denaturalization series. It's coming out this week, tomorrow. On Tuesday, it's going to premiere. I'm not certain what the premiere time is. Anyone on my end knows a premiere time for tomorrow's YouTube video? I think we're going to premiere it at maybe 1 p.m. Eastern time. I think that's what it is. But be on the lookout for tomorrow's YouTube video, 1 p.m. on tomorrow on YouTube for the denaturalization part two, in which I'm doing a deeper dive into denaturalization to educate and empower. Because there are almost 25 million naturalized citizens in the United States, and I think you really need to know what's going on. What's going on and what they're thinking and planning and working on. You guys need to be ahead of the game as well. So watch tomorrow's video and be sure to share it with other people. Guys, thanks so much for being with me today. We're here for you at McBean Law. You can reach out to us again at 914-898-9488 to book an appointment with one of us, or go to or email us at info@mcbeanlaw.com. Thanks so much for being with me here today, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.